Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back another video from NC Hammer 23. Got another Naruto video that I'm really looking forward to. This is Naruto ships that just make sense. So, like, I'm guessing this video is going to be like characters that didn't get together within the show, but it would have made sense if they did. So, yeah, let's get into it.
So there are a lot of relationships in Naruto, more specifically Boruto, but the relationships had to happen in Naruto for them to happen.
Yeah.
If you don't understand why that is, I'm not going to explain it to you, and also maybe you're too young to be on this page. While some of these relationships are incredible in the perfect melding of two characteristics into one relationship, some are not that. Some don't feel fleshed out, some feel tacked on, and some feel like they just don't even like each other. And then there's others who feel like they settled. Sorry, my dog just went on
Yeah, Sakura and Sasuke, I didn't get that vibe at all.
a rolling
From,
tire
like, they don't seem...
raid and managed to knock over some of my figurine boxes.
Oh.
Look at him. Look at him. He wants me. Look, look what he wants from me. Okay, look. This is all he ever wants. Why did you destroy this? We've owned this tug toy for 2 days. There used to be a ball here. Regardless, some of the ships that we got in Naruto just didn't fill our soul in the way we wanted them to. Which is why today, I'm going to talk about the definitive list of who should have ended up with who. Now, while this may technically be headcanon and largely based off my personal feelings,
As most things are.
all relationships, they're complicated, they're messy, and sometimes they just don't fit right. And while that is the case for many of the relationships in Naruto, some do fit like Cinderella's shoe. So let's go ahead and talk about the ones that make sense. The one that is unequivocally the most agreed upon that it makes sense and is also really cute, Shikamaru and Temari. Shikamaru and Temari had more build up for a relationship than any other couple in the show.
They really did. They really did. You got that hint straight away from the get-go, even when they're in their fighting.
Hands down. You can be like, oh, Naruto and Hinata. Yeah, Hinata had a crush on him, but Naruto didn't know who she was for 700 episodes.
Yeah.
Shikamaru and Temari met in the tuning exams, and they battled, and it was super cute, and Shikamaru gave up because he ran out of chakra, and then Temari went on to go destroy large swaths of Konoha, you know, romance.
I mean, she comes back though during the Sasuke retrieval, doesn't she? And then helps him against the with the one with the flute. So that was quite nice.
But even after that, they're seen walking around the village together whenever Tamari's around, or they have to go out on missions together as Chunin, and the personalities are largely contradictory, with Temari being boisterous and loud, and Shikamaru being very reserved and quiet, which very much resembles what Shikamaru's parents' relationship looks like. So she fits into the generation, and they create a very powerful child in Shikadai who has the intellect of Shikamaru and the wind ability of Temari and the shadow releasing of Shikamaru. Overall, 10 out of 10. Perfect couple in Naruto, the gold standard. So let's talk about the silver standard, Hinata and Naruto. See, I have no real problems with them being shipped together. Obviously, Hinata has had a crush
Yeah, it's fine. It was nice to see Hinata get the win there.
on Naruto since episode 1. They've been building up to it. If you can't see that, you're insane. And obviously, for a very long time, Naruto had a huge crush on Sakura. You could say it ran all the way till Shippuden, because when Sakura admits her love for Naruto, he considers taking her up on it. I mean, he shuts her down at one of the most savage moments in anime history, but still, it takes him a second. My problem is the subtlety that Naruto approached Hinata with. Obviously, Naruto the Last rectified this issue, but for the entirety of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, Naruto does not even notice Hinata. Sure, when she gets murdered by Pain, he freaks out and becomes corrupt, but the thing is, I feel as though he would have done that for any member of the
Yeah. You think about it, he would have reacted that way if any of his friends were put in that situation. Oh, he would have gone mental anyway.
Konoha 13. If that was Sai out there, Shino, Kiba, he
maybe not Sai to that extent, but
would have been upset. Even more so if it was someone like Shikamaru, who he was close with. And then there's obviously the fact that they held hands in the war arc. Adorable. Round of applause.
Cute.
But it felt like physical contact tacked on in order to lead us to the conclusion that Naruto and Hinata were supposed to end up together. See, what Kishimoto did very well with Temari and Shikamaru was he hinted at them. They flirted. Naruto being so painfully obtuse kind of takes away from them getting together in the end. Unless, of course, you watch Naruto the Last, which is the reason that they're the silver standard to me. Naruto the Last is about Naruto addressing his feelings for Hinata. Finally, it takes her being kidnapped by one of the last Otsutsukis alive who lives on the moon, but figures it out. And obviously they have Boruto, who now has a Jogan, maybe because of Hinata receiving Hamura's chakra. And they have another daughter, Himawari, who has the Byakugan and Naruto's chakra levels. Maybe, we don't know. And people will say, well, Naruto should have ended up with Kari or Sakura. Sakura, no, because there's a better choice for her down the line. But Kari
Interesting.
Wouldn't have made as powerful a child with Naruto as Hinata did. See, that child would just be 75% Uzumaki, which is incredible. But the fact that that child wouldn't be 100% Uzumaki means they wouldn't be able to use adamantite chains. More likely than not, they would have had more chakra than Naruto, but that kinda would have been it. Effectively, it would have just been Naruto squared. And while some people may want that, that seems boring to me. So the combination of Hinata's powers and Naruto's powers into both Boruto and Himawari makes me very happy, and the dynamic between them, even though it's just kind of Hinata as a housewife and Naruto never home, is still kind of functional and cute. Hinata's living her dream and Naruto is happy with somebody who loves him. Also, Hinata is one of the very few people in the village who would deal with Naruto being away all the time. Also, the kiss in the last. So good. Okay, now let's get to an existing relationship that makes no sense. It's not even the bronze standard. It isn't a standard. You probably guessed it already. It's Sakura and Sasuke. From the jump of Naruto, Sasuke had never shown any interest in
Not whatsoever.
Sakura. Obviously, the moment where she tries to stop him from leaving the village for the first time is very tough for Sasuke because maybe he's got a little bit of feelings for her. However, in the beginning of Shippuden, he almost Kirins her to death alongside Naruto. He stabs her in Shippuden. He puts her in a genjutsu where he stabs her again.
Yeah, she should not come back and be like, hey, yeah, I want this guy.
In Shippuden, when she's trying to get him back after he kills Danzo. The entirety of the show, he is both emotionally and physically abusive to Sakura.
Yes.
He's also like that to every single woman in his life. Because some people will be like, well, why did Sasuke get with Sakura? He should have got with Karin. And while that would have made a powerful child, no doubt, I once again say it probably wouldn't be as powerful as Sarada currently is. Yes, the insane amount of chakra that this child would have gotten from the Uzumakis would have been nice.
Yeah.
And that child probably would have been able to sustain their Sharingan longer than anybody ever. But that's it. You get Sharingan for a long time. And while that's very powerful in its own right, having Sharingan for a good amount of time and also the insane strength and speed of your mother, on top of the possibility of a strength of 100 seal, is significantly stronger. But we've talked about what makes Boruto Kid stronger and what the strongest combos would be. I'm talking about why. Why on earth did Sakura end up with Sasuke? In what might have been Kishimoto's largest fumble in the history of Naruto, of which there is many, Sakura should have rejected Sasuke in the end.
Yeah, like everything he did, she should have just took that into consideration and gone, yeah, no, you're not a nice guy.
In a moment that could have been very powerful for Sakura and just women in shonen, she could have said, the way you've treated me your entire life does not earn you the right to be with me.
No.
He comes back to the village, he's expecting to be with Sakura or Ino, and they both look at him and say,
sure, you might have paid for what you did to Naruto, but what about us?
what about stabbing me? What about emotionally abusing me? What about putting me in genjutsu? Nope. Once Sasuke says it's okay, Sakura says it's okay. Writing one of the most powerful women in the universe off just like that. One of the most doggedly persistent people in Naruto apparently has no strength of will when it comes to a man. If she didn't have other options, I guess I understand forgiving Sasuke somewhere down the line and ending up with him. But there is the easiest layup of all time. You know, outside of Naruto, who's been in love with Sakura her entire life? Rock Lee. In fact, they had built up towards Rock Lee ex Sakura before. When Rock Lee's in the hospital after his fight against Gaara, Sakura goes and visits him. Lee constantly brings Sakura flowers and admits his feelings for her. It's much the same as Hinata to Naruto, but the genders are swapped. And Rock Lee is arguably a top 3 favorite character in the Naruto franchise.
Yeah.
From the Naruto fandom. He also, better than anyone, including Naruto, encapsulates what Naruto is about. He encapsulates the fact that the circumstance of your birth does not determine how powerful, how strong, or how driven you can be. Let him marry the woman he wants to. Now, I know I said if Sasuke ended up with Karin, that child wouldn't be as powerful as Sarada. Look me in the eyes right now and tell me Rock Lee and Sakura wouldn't make a child stronger than Sarada.
Mate, she'd be so physically beastly. Like, being able to do the 8 gates and have the... Could you do that?
8 gates, 100 healing, Sarada's strength, Rock Lee's speed. What do you want? That child would be Might Guy on steroids.
Yeah.
But instead, we got Metal Lee, who's cool. He has a natural anxiety-driven drunken fist. That's cool, but we don't even know who his mother is. In Rock Lee, a crowd favorite is relegated to being a single father. Why? Sai got married, and he's one of my favorite characters, but he does not hold nearly
That's so interesting. Why is Sai a favorite?
as much weight in the fandom as Rock Lee does.
I mean, he has got an interesting backstory, like. But...
Rock Lee got its own spin-off, so Sakura should have been with Rock Lee, and Sasuke should be with nobody. He has never treated
Yeah, Sasuke shouldn't have been with anyone.
anybody in his life even remotely good enough to end up with them. And that's including Karin, who he has stabbed with his Chidori and used her like a Setsu bean every chance he got.
That's very true, yeah, she is his, like, personal, like, senzu being.
Not to mention, more likely than not, that her emotions towards Sasuke of love are Orochimaru playing with her memories. But since we were talking about Metal Lee, let's talk about Metal Lee's possible mother, Tenten. Tenten was gonna end up with Neji. I don't care what you say, I don't care what you think, that's what was going to happen. Neji was not going to marry Hinata, they're cousins. I understand that Hayashi likes to keep it in the blood, but Hayashi has also been planning how to get Hinata with Naruto both of their entire lives. I have a video about it. Go watch it. That being said, Neji's death did serve as a way for Naruto and Hinata to get closer. But if you think about it, Neji and Tenten makes a lot of sense. Neji is a genius and Tenten is not. But Neji's character arc was realizing that those born without strength can achieve it. And while Tenten may not be the most impressive member of the Konoha 13, she was still stronger by the end of the show than she was in the beginning. And that, believe it or not, was through a lot of hard work. On top of this, they were the two odd men out in Team Guy, often having to deal with Mike Guy and Rock Lee's shenanigans. And in those circumstances, they had each other. They're both very laid-back personalities, both known for their abilities to roll their eyes at their fellow teammates and sensei. I honestly think they would have been really cute together. Neji most likely would have continued on as a Jonin or the head of the Hyuga family. I know he literally couldn't be according to like Hyuga law, but Hayashi watched his brother Hizashi die and it kind of changed Hayashi's brain on side and main branch family roles. Also, Hinata would have been busy being pregnant with Naruto's children, so maybe she wouldn't have been perfect for the role at the time. I don't know, it doesn't matter because technically he died to a stick. And instead,
He did die to a stick.
Tenten had to secretly have Rock Lee's child. Look at the eye shape and tell me Tenten is not Metal Lee's mother. What happened was Rock Lee got a little bit drunk, and remember, anytime any amount of alcohol hits Rock Lee's lips, he forgets everything. That night, 10-10, bing bang boom, Metal Lee. I like to think that Metal Lee got dropped off on his doorstep like 9 months later and he just has no idea who's
what happened.
Yeah, that's why
like,
he's not
what's going on?
going to 10-10 for like alimony. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, I like Ino x Sai. This is an unpopular opinion because people believe there was absolutely no romance between Ino and Sai. And for a while, you're absolutely correct. But in Shikamaru's light novel, Shikamaru Shinden, we finally got why they ended up together. Essentially
I got hints and inklings from those two, but interesting that it's actually approached properly.
After the war arc has ended, there's still a lot of people out there who are sympathetic to Madara's cause. So Naruto and Sai
I thought that was a really interesting concept. I've not read these, but I've watched a lot of videos talking about them.
They're sent out on a lot of missions to wipe these people out. Sai goes out on a mission to do something similar to this, and he gets caught and put under a genjutsu that makes him sympathetic to Madara's cause and sympathetic to all the people that captured him. So Ino Shikacho have to go save him. And it actually looks pretty rough for all of them. Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino are all in a tough situation where this group of Madara sympathizers kind of have them on their heels. And it's mostly because Sai is working with them. And it's at this point that Ino tries to undo the genjutsu using mind transfer jutsu. You see, leading up to this, they had gotten barbecue together and she had a slight attraction to him, which made a lot of sense because think about it, he was quite literally the person who replaced Sasuke. And some uncultured weebs will call him Sasuke Light, even though Sasuke is Sai Light. But if Ino is into Sasuke, which is dark and brooding, then Sai is just down her alley. But once she dove into his mind, she began to understand who Sai is as a person. She started to see the years of depersonalization that separated his personality from humanity. Seeing that even when he's trying, he can't fully be himself. And this made her fall crazy in love with the dude. So after the mission, they end up together. And that is legitimately more of a love story than we got for a lot of these other relationships.
That's a heck of a lot more than anybody else's.
Relationships. So for that level, I put Sai and Ino on the same level as Shikamaru and Temari. Also because the combination of their abilities to make Inojin is legitimately really cool. Having Mind Transfer Jutsu and Ninja Beast Scrolls, which are two of the more interesting jutsus in Naruto, is really interesting. Also, they can share crop tops. Now we're gonna step out of Konoha for a second because there's another person outside of Konoha who deserves love and is shipped rather frequently. See, a lot of people will ship Gaara with Naruto. And it doesn't not make sense. Gaara seems to like Naruto a lot. Whether that's as an admiration or a love, I'll leave that up to you. It's actually not the direction I'm going, though. You see, what's wild to me, and I guess makes a lot of sense for Gaara, is that he's one of the most widely beloved and widely desired people in the Hidden Sand. I mean, he's the Kazekage who turned the village around. He led the shinobi forces. I'd have the hots for him too. He didn't have that Boruto hair.
Everyone would have something
Gaara
for that
legitimately
guy.
has an entire light novel dedicated to Kankuro and Temari trying to hook him up with people. And for a second, it looks as though he's found a woman who's interested in him, but eventually she tries to assassinate him because she had a secret husband. See,
Ah, damn.
Gaara has what I like to call absolutely no luck in love, but it doesn't have to be that way. People are always like,
Oh, well, who's he gonna hook up with? Sakura, she's dead. Temari, that's his sister. There's no options in the Hidden Sand.
and amongst people we know in Naruto and have had significant screen time, that's pretty much true, except for the exception of one person, Maki. See, Maki became very important in the war. Her jutsu ability was cloth manipulation. Essentially, she had a huge roll of cloth that she could pour her chakra into and bind people with it, or use it defensively or offensively. She was a Fuin Jutsu specialist, bit like Gaara, who uses sand to bind many of the Edo Tensai shinobi. So they both fought in the Fourth Great Ninja War, and both are specialists in Fuin Jutsu. Makes more than a little bit of sense that they would bump into each other once or twice.
Yeah.
But what's even crazier
Have that conversation about that. Compare notes. Yeah.
than that is that Maki was present in the Kazekage rescue mission. So they literally have a meet cute. Maki was there when he got revived. So as to how they never met, I simply can't explain it. Especially considering that her personality is much bolder and upfront, and that would perfectly match Gaara's subdued nature. Like, write a story about some kind of beast going crazy, and the Hidden Sand needs to get its best Fuin Jutsu users together. Hell, it could be Shukaku. Let's say Shukaku gets put under a Genjutsu, and Gaara thinks he can do it on his own, but Kankuro and Temari force him to bring Maki. One, as a play to keep an eye on his health, but two, as a possible way to set them up. Shenanigans ensue as they follow Shukaku across the lands trying to seal him, and eventually they fall in love. And then the rest of the Sand Village has exactly what they want, which would be the Kazekage being married and having children. But instead, they wrote a book about Gaara, who's one of the most beloved characters in all of Naruto, trying to fall in love, kind of falling in love, and then having that woman try to assassinate him. Give me a Katsuki Hiden, but with Gaara and Maki. Not hard. And then Shinki could quite literally be his son. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Nick, you went to Gaara before you even finished up the Konoha 13. We're getting there. The end of this list is a bit out there. You're gonna have to stick with me on this one, but I'm actually really proud of making this connection. And it's mostly built on hearsay and my general feelings, so take it with a grain of salt. Shino, he's single, right?
Okay, who are we going?
Even in Boruto, he's just a teacher, which is unfortunate because he's actually a pretty cool guy and also incredibly powerful. A lot of power to pass on to future generations. But I know what you're saying, everybody else is already taken from Konoha in terms of women. In my perfect circumstance where Tenten is with Neji, that is. So it looks like Shino is gonna have to look outside of the village. But here's the thing, Shino's bugs are incredible for reconnaissance and assassination. His role as a teacher actually makes very little sense. He's an incredibly talented Jonin.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Obviously, he has a lot of knowledge to impart, but he should be out there gathering knowledge. And you can say, well, yeah, there's not a whole lot of spying going on in the era of peace. And you're right, but if anybody should be outside of the village a lot, outside of Sasuke, it should probably be Shino or other strong Abarames. So maybe one time when Shino was out doing reconnaissance, trying to find new bugs even, he bumped into the 5th Mizukage, Mai. And I know what you're saying, Nick, they're drastically different ages. Obviously, Shino is of age at this point. This is years down the line. But Mai has been looking for a husband for decades. She has an incredible drive to get married, and she also has an insane amount of power to pass down. She's also a very forthright and flirtatious personality. Somebody who will do the majority of the talking in the relationship. Somebody who would maybe go outside of what would typically be their normal type in order to fulfill the goal of being married. Not saying settled, because Shino is not settling. He's a great guy, and he's also technically never lost the fight. So maybe she makes advances on Shino, and he's too shy to say no. Or maybe she's always talking over him because that's kind of Shino's whole thing, getting talked over. I mean, we're in the era of peace. Dating between villages is not weird anymore. And look at me in my eyes and tell me, you don't think Shino would be into older women? He's never particularly expressed interest in any of the women around him. Maybe he was always looking for a cougar? And this would satisfy both Mai and Shino because Mai is looking for a younger man. You can tell based off the way she acts around all the strong younger men in her life. Is it a stretch? Yes.
A little bit.
Is it my favorite headcanon ship? Also yes. But since we're talking about out of village ships, let's talk about Choji. See, Choji ended up with Karui. That's Fine, I guess. But the only explanation we ever get for this relationship is during Sakura Hiden, which takes place about 3 years after the war. Essentially, while Ino and Sakura are chatting, they bring up Choji. And Sakura asks if Choji's not too interested in food to look for love, to which Ino says no, he's actually been sneaking out of the village to go to the hidden cloud for any reason. Any chance he can get, he's looking for an excuse to go see Karui. And that's it. We've never seen Choji and Karui's first meeting. And while I think having an interracial ship in Naruto is nice, it never really made a lot of sense to me. There was no chemistry, they never met. I mean, they're cute in Boruto, I guess, but she's always yelling at him, and she doesn't seem very happy with the way that he nonchalantly approaches everything. But there is somebody in the hidden cloud who's incredibly nonchalant, so nonchalant that her name directly translates in English, cool. And that would be Samoi. See, Samoi is the leader of Karui's team. She leads Team Samoi, and her name directly translates to cool, and it's the word that she says more than anything else. Once you learn even a small amount of Japanese, you realize most names in anime are just bad puns. But she's incredibly easygoing. I mean, she was the person who stopped Karui from caving Naruto's face in. And if we're just gonna slap Choji with somebody from the hidden cloud, this made more sense to me, especially when you consider the fact they're both on the thicker side. It's just Karui and Choji don't seem necessarily happy because of the contrast in their personalities. And obviously Chocho has the realization in one filler episode in Boruto that they are happy, but yeah, just my feeling. I was eating chocolate, so now he's here. But speaking of dogs, that brings us to our last entry on the list. Kiba. Kiba's relationship in Boruto is somewhat confusing. He's dating a kind of cat girl. It's anime canon, but that's not who Kiba should have ended up with, because she technically doesn't exist in the manga, and also, like cats and dogs, it's cliche. There is another person out there, though, who, just like Kiba, relies on things in order to strengthen their power as a ninja, who made a lot more sense. Like, if you're gonna say he dates a girl who likes cats, why not he dates a person who likes puppets?
Yeah.
I mean, puppets are things that you create and then use in combination with your own power to bolster your power. Just as Kiba raised Akamaru and now his new dog in Boruto to bolster his own power. The maintenance and delicate dance of keeping these things healthy and clean and well running in order to maintain your strength is a good connection, especially when you consider the events of Naruto the Last, the manga, not the movie. Essentially puppets that they've created, they auto set and then can go do their own thing without anybody controlling them. And Kankuro is sent find out how they did this. You see, Kankuro is on the everlasting quest to find the perfect puppet, or create the perfect puppet. A puppet who doesn't need to be controlled. A puppet that has free will to a degree. Wouldn't it make sense to explore the relationship between humans and ninja hounds to better understand how to make a companion that can perfectly operate without you? You see, while Akamaru does often take commands from Kiba and
This is a very interesting approach.
order to figure out what he should be doing in the battle, Akamaru still has free will and can impart his own will into the fight without Kiba's commands. That level of sentience could be applied to a puppet. And let's not act like Kiba and Kankuro haven't met before. They have, in fact, in very important situations. Kiba was going to die unless Kankuro came and fought Sakon and Ukon, and they worked together to kill Sakon and Ukon. You see, Kankuro, even in Boruto, is single because he's too busy running the Hidden Sands military, or at least that's what he says. And Kiba, at least manga canon-wise, is childless and single. Maybe he just spends too much time with his dogs? Listen, this ship would never happen in a million years because Kishimoto would never have the balls to go that far. These are two relatively likable characters who have similar power sets and a good reason to meet each other. Well, they've already met, but a good reason to re-meet each other. I think there's truly no reason for them not to be together. But then again, what do I know? I just talk about Naruto professionally.
Joe, I'm glad he addressed that, because sometimes when I watch these videos and there's random like noise errors and stuff, really makes me wonder what I've done wrong.
What do you guys think? Who should have been together? What are your favorite headcanon ships? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're down there, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. And while you're super at it, go ahead and please follow my other YouTube channel, NCGamer23, where I play video games and record it. I think one day it's gonna be bigger than this page, so get there early. Listen,
Aren't the Otaku's Anonymous? His podcast.
I know I didn't bring up Sasuke and Naruto as a relationship, but let's be real, they're already dating.
Sasuke, Naruto. Sasuke, Naruto. That was good. That was cool. I like that. Interesting look into why certain relationships would work better, and that, like, it's cool. I'm enjoying checking these Naruto videos out by NC Hammer. What's the next one I want to check out? In fact, you can wait and see. Thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, link in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is our support channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys, all you guys, next time.